You see, when you allow emotion to take the lead, you hand over the steering wheel of your life to instability. Anger makes decisions you'll regret. Fear holds you back from opportunities. Excitement can make promises you can't keep. And sadness can convince you that nothing will ever get better. Let your principles speak louder. Principles give you clarity. They simplify decision-making in complex situations. You don't need to wonder what to do when life gets tough. You already know. You've already decided. You stay calm. You act with integrity. You lead with faith. You stand on truth. That kind of stability gives you power. It keeps your mind clear while others are lost in confusion. It allows you to take action while others are paralyzed by indecision. There is a calm that comes when you know you are acting in alignment with your values. No matter the outcome, no matter who agrees or disagrees, you can sleep at night knowing you stayed true. That is a rare peace, and it is only found when you choose principle over emotion. Now, this doesn't mean you deny your emotions. You don't stuff them down or pretend they don't exist. You just refuse to be ruled by them. You become the master of your emotions, not their servant. You use them as signals, not commands. And over time, your mind becomes stronger, your reactions become fewer, and your actions become sharper. You begin to move with purpose, not pressure. The calm mind is a disciplined mind. And discipline is not born out of convenience. It is born out of principle. Even when it's uncomfortable, it's consistent, and it always results in change. Mental discipline is not a gift you're born with. It's a decision you make daily. It is not reserved for the few. It is developed by the focused. The man who trains his mind to stay disciplined, especially in moments of pressure, becomes a man of power, clarity, and purpose. He's not controlled by the noise around him or the chaos within him. He's not easily shaken. Why? Because he's taken full responsibility for the state of his mind, and in doing so, he has built something stronger than emotion, louder than fear, and greater than circumstance. Most people live at the mercy of whatever thought enters their mind. They allow distractions to steer their attention. They let discomfort dictate their effort. And without realizing it, they've trained themselves to quit whenever things get hard. But the man who disciplines his mind moves differently. He doesn't wait to feel motivated. He doesn't rely on inspiration. He moves because he's made a commitment to growth, to excellence, to becoming the best version of himself. This discipline creates freedom. Most people think freedom means doing whatever you want, whenever you want. But real freedom is the ability to do what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like it. The disciplined mind is not a prisoner of impulse. It's not swayed by every mood. It's steady, it's clear, it's powerful, and over time, it gains momentum. When you look at those who rise above, those who endure hardship, lead others, build legacies, you will find one common thread. They have disciplined their minds. They have faced chaos with clarity. They have acted with strength, not emotion. They've learned that self-mastery is the foundation of all other victories. So if you truly want to be calm in every situation, don't just hope for peace. Train for it, build it, choose it, again and again. Because the man who remains calm is not lucky, he is prepared. He has worked for it. And now, when the storm comes, he does not fear it. He is the storm's equal. He is ready. You were never meant to be a slave to your thoughts. You were meant to lead them. The mind is a powerful instrument, more powerful than any external force you'll face. But left undisciplined, it becomes your greatest enemy. It reacts without reason, believes every fear, and clings to doubt like a lifeline. That's why mastering your mind is not optional if you want to succeed in life. It is essential. The man who learns to control his thoughts gains control over his emotions, his actions, and ultimately, his destiny. You cannot always control what happens around you, but you can always control how you interpret it, how you respond, and what you allow to dwell in your mind. That is your territory. That is your battlefield. And too many people lose the war before it even begins. Not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they lacked discipline over their own thoughts. They let the negative take root. They let fear have a seat at the table. They let failure become final in their minds before even trying again. But you, if you are serious about your growth, must rise above that. You must lead your mind, train it daily, and never let it lead you blindly. Training your mind begins with awareness. Begin noticing what your mind does when you're stressed. Pay attention to what it tells you when things don't go your way. Does it whisper defeat? Does it magnify problems and minimize possibilities? If it does, you must interrupt that pattern. You must speak back to your mind with power. You must plant new thoughts, thoughts of strength, thoughts of purpose, thoughts that move you forward, not hold you back. You see, your mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant there will grow, whether it's weeds of worry or seeds of strength. And most people don't even realize they're feeding their minds garbage all day long through what they read, what they watch, who they listen to. If you want a strong mind, you must feed it deliberately. You must protect it fiercely. Don't just consume content, filter it. Don't just repeat thoughts, challenge them. Choose what you let in, because what you let in will shape your beliefs, and your beliefs will shape your life. Now hear this. The mind can become your greatest servant or your worst master. The choice is yours. The man who leads his mind takes responsibility for every thought. He doesn't excuse fear. He doesn't indulge in complaining. He doesn't dwell in what ifs and what could go wrong. Instead, he commands his mind to focus, to believe, to act with courage. That man is unstoppable, because when your mind is aligned with your purpose, your actions become sharp, your emotions stay balanced, and your path becomes clear even when the road is tough. There will be days when your mind wants to quit, when it tells you you're not good enough, when it screams for comfort instead of growth. On those days, you must dig deeper. You must speak back with the voice of truth. Tell your mind, you are not in charge here. I lead you, not the other way around. And then you act. You move forward, no matter how small the step. That's how mental strength is built. Not in theory, but in repeated. The greatest battles are fought in silence, within the walls of your own thoughts. And every time you choose discipline over distraction, faith over fear, growth over comfort, you are winning. You are shaping a mind that will carry you through every storm, every setback, every success with clarity and strength. So do not wait for the mind to quiet itself. train it, lead it, and watch how your life begins to rise in ways you never imagined. Adversity is not your enemy. It is your teacher. It is your mirror. It is the fire that reveals what is real within you. Most people try to avoid it, complain about it, or run from it. But the man who understands the power of adversity doesn't fear it, he welcomes it. He knows that every struggle is an invitation to rise. Every difficulty is an opportunity in disguise. It is not in times of ease that greatness is forged. It is in the hard moments, the uncertain moments, the painful moments, the painful moments. That is where strength is born. When everything is falling apart around you, that is when your true character is exposed. That is when your training is tested. It's easy to stay calm when nothing challenges you. It's easy to believe in yourself when you're winning. But what do you do when the odds are against you, when the plan fails, when the door closes? That's the real question. That's the moment that defines you, not for the world to see, but for you to see what you're truly made of. Because success without adversity breeds arrogance. But success earned through adversity breeds wisdom. It teaches you to be grateful, to stay humble, and to lead others with compassion and strength. You've been through enough to know that pain can either break you or build you. And if you choose to be calm, if you choose to lead your mind through the storm, then that pain becomes purpose. That struggle becomes strength. There is nothing more dangerous to fear than a man who has suffered and remained calm because he knows what he can endure. He has learned that emotions don't build legacies, decisions do. And he has learned that no matter how hard life hits, he can still move forward, still hold his ground, still believe. So, the next time adversity comes knocking, and it will, don't shrink back, don't panic, don't let the moment define you. You define the moment. Because every time you remain calm in adversity, you are becoming the man you were always meant to be. There comes a time in every man's life when he must face a storm. Not the kind that whips the trees and shakes the windows, but the kind that tests the strength of his mind. The measure of a man is not found in comfort. It is not proven when all is well and the path is smooth. No, it is revealed in moments of chaos, in the face of adversity, when the winds of trouble howl loudest. In these moments, the man who has trained his mind to remain calm becomes a master of life itself. Calmness is not weakness. It is not passivity or indifference. Calmness is power. It is control. It is mastery over the only kingdom you were ever given dominion over. You see, the mind left untrained is like a wild horse, reactive, chaotic, unpredictable. It runs from fear. It panics at setbacks. It doubts when faith is required most. But the man who disciplines his thoughts, who chooses what to dwell on, who decides that no matter what happens outside, he will stay composed inside, that man rises above the average and steps into greatness. There is power in silence. There is strength in stillness. There is wisdom in restraint. The calm man sees clearer, thinks sharper, acts better. He does not act out of emotion, but out of principle. He is not ruled by circumstances, but by purpose. He knows that panic never solves a problem and worry never creates a solution. So he trains himself day by day, moment by moment, to be still when others are shaking, to stand firm when others are falling. You must begin this training now. Decide that your peace is your responsibility. No one else will protect it. Refuse to give your mind over to fear, to anger, to doubt. Refuse to be moved by every little change in the weather of life. Instead, anchor yourself in faith, in discipline, in the calm assurance that you were made to overcome. Every challenge is a test, every setback is an opportunity, and every moment you stay calm when you could have panicked, you grow. You grow in power. You grow in confidence. You grow in mastery. Remember, the battles of life are won or lost in the mind long before they are fought in the world. Train your mind. Train it to be still, to be strong, to be focused. This is the way to rise. This is the way to conquer. This is the way to live. Calmness is not a passive state. It is not surrender, nor is it a sign of indifference. Calmness is power, silent, focused, and incredibly effective. The man who can keep his mind still in the face of adversity has already won half the battle. You see, the average man is ruled by what happens around him. He's like a leaf tossed by the wind, up when things go well, down when things fall apart. But the man who has trained his mind to remain calm, even when the world around him is in chaos, becomes unshakable. He becomes a force. Every day, life presents situations that test our inner state. Traffic jams, rude people, sudden losses, missed opportunities. And in those moments, the untrained mind reacts. It panics. It lashes out. It spirals. But the trained mind pauses. It observes. It chooses the response, rather than being enslaved to reaction. This ability to stay calm gives you an advantage that most people never experience. It allows you to stay centered when others lose their balance. It gives you control, not over others, but over yourself. And that is the greatest control a man can possess. You must understand this. Power is not in noise. Power is in presence. Think about the men in history who carried weight when they spoke. They did not scream to be heard. Their calm, steady presence commanded attention. Why? Because calmness radiates confidence. When you are calm, others trust your judgment. They look to you in a crisis. They follow your lead, not because you are loud, but because you are stable. You become the anchor in a sea of panic. This kind of mental composure doesn't come naturally. It must be trained. It must be built through discipline. The calm mind is forged in moments of irritation, in storms of uncertainty, in fires of pressure. And each time you choose to remain calm instead of reacting emotionally, you build strength. You expand your power. You prove to yourself that your peace is not for sale. It is not dependent on what others say or do. It belongs to you, and only you can protect it. Now let me tell you something that most people will never realize. The calm man moves faster in life, not because he's rushing, but because he's not wasting energy. While others are caught up in worry, stress, or rage, he is moving forward. Focused, clear-headed, decisive. He doesn't allow emotional storms to cloud his vision. He sees the road ahead when others are blinded by their own reactions. And this gives him an edge in every area. Business, relationships, personal growth. Understand this deeply. Calmness is not the absence of problems. It is the ability to rise above them. It is the strength to say, this moment will not break me. I will think clearly. I will act with purpose. And when you begin to live this way, you start to see that calmness is not something you reach for in a crisis. It becomes who you are. It becomes your natural state. And when calmness becomes your natural state, no situation can shake you. You become the eye of the storm, still, unbothered, in control. So begin today. Train your mind as if your life depends on it, because it does. Train it to stay calm in discomfort. Train it to pause before it reacts. Train it to choose peace over panic, focus over frenzy. And in doing so, you unlock a level of personal power that few ever reach. Because the man who remains calm when others lose control is the man who leads, the man who builds, the man who wins.